Hello everyone, it's Juliana. Today I'm sharing a scrapbook layout that I made using the new Studio Calico Baxter collection and a fun tip on how to keep your paper from warping when you use watercolors. I began by selecting these two photos of our sweet Lincoln as a little puppy and the paper and embellishments from the Baxter collection, along with some other fun embellishments that I thought I might want to use. I really liked the paper with the large 4x4 squares, and I knew I wanted to cut out a couple of them to create a grid-like pattern with them in my photos. I especially wanted to cut out the one that said wolf. Now the orange pattern paper is actually part of the cat papers, but I really liked the color and pattern, and as you will see, I was able to cover up most of the words with my photos and embellishments. Kind of moved them around until I felt like I'd covered up most of the words. And then I used a pencil to make a couple tick marks to help me on where to cut the paper. And I just moved it around till I kind of liked everything, and then I trimmed a little bit more off the top to make it fit better. Once I had the main design down, I started pulling out the embellishments. For those of you who don't know me well, I have a very hard time committing to placing things on my layouts. I really like to be able to move things around before I stick them down for good. This clear plastic sheet that I'm using once held a bunch of large stickers, and I use it all the time to help me when placing stickers on my layout. I can use it to stick the stickers onto and then remove them and move them around and not have to worry about things sticking to my paper and having to pull out the undo. Just much easier for me to work this way. And as you can see, then I just have fun playing around with the different stickers and embellishments and figuring out what I like and where. And even once I think I have it where I want it, I always end up making some more changes, so it's just part of the process. Now here I'm using a piece of a cereal box for chipboard to add a little bit of dimension to these cute little phrase and word stickers. It also gives me the ability to move that sticker around on my page. Here I'm picking out the word I want to use for my title, and I thought the cute sticker was perfect for these cute little photos of puppy Lincoln. Here I'm cutting the star that I'm using on the page with my Cuttlebug and the stitched star from My Favorite Things. Now this is clear gesso, and I use this to keep my paper from warping when I apply watercolors or other paints. I like to apply a coat of it to both sides of the paper and then let it dry before I paint. And I thought originally that I wanted to make these stars orange, and as you'll see I ended up changing that to blue, but here you can kind of see me playing around with the watercolors a little bit. Like I mentioned, I ended up with the blue stars. Felt like the orange really kind of got lost, and the blue gave it a little more contrast. This little cluster that I made, and then I decided I wanted to do some inking on the edges of the paper. I just used the walnut stain distress ink and the little edging along all of the pieces of pattern paper that I used on the layout. And now I'm having fun finally sticking everything down, actually committing to the design, which, as you know, for me that can be a little bit of a process sometimes. This layout came together really quickly for me. I think it took about 45 minutes other than the drying time for the watercoloring, but that was overall a pretty quick layout for me. Now here you can see that sticker paper really comes in handy. I just and I peel everything off and then position it onto my layout, and I'm ready to go. Now, I still don't push down really hard and totally commit just yet, and but it does help me with my process of creating to have that flexibility and movability of all my stuff. I'm going to use some of my favorite dimensional tape to help lift up the little puppy there. And I moved the heart and decided to add another paw. Just felt like it needed a little bit more to help balance that area. Now, this is a date stamp that I finally located at Office Max. I've been looking for one forever. They were sold out everywhere I went, and decided to add a little date and do a little hand journaling. I always like to write it out with a pencil first. Once I have everything written out the way I like it, I write over it with a marker or a pen. Here I'm using a Marvy Le Pen in black, one of my favorites. And then I erase the pencil with a white art eraser. And here I use my ruler and the pen to draw a few little detailed lines. And there we are. We're finished. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed following along during this process video. I invite you to visit my blog, www.17turtles.com, to see more of my scrapbook projects and other paper crafting projects. Hugs!